Picture the scene in your own home, where perhaps you have woken up at 2 in the morning, surrounded by the quiet stillness of the house, only to find that familiar, heavy weight pressed firmly against your side. You feel a little body rising and falling with a steady breath that somehow perfectly matches the rhythm of your own chest. You might easily assume that your dog simply wants to be physically cozy, and that their nightly migration to your mattress is driven entirely by a desire for soft blankets and the physical warmth of your feet at the end of a long day. But there is an invisible architecture behind the way they curl up next to you each night, a vast and ancient framework that dictates their every movement in the dark. We are going to explore the profound forces that draw your dog to your bed night after night, moving far beyond surface-level observations to uncover the miraculous biology of your relationship. Think back to the very first time your dog, perhaps a nervous rescue who had known only instability, finally gathered the courage to climb into your bed and decided that they would never sleep anywhere else. That night was not an accident of comfort, but rather a profound homecoming driven by forces older than human civilization. Long before your dog possessed a name or a soft living room, their ancient ancestors slept out in the vast, unforgiving expanse of the wild. In that harsh world, sleep was never simply rest. It was a state of supreme, life-threatening vulnerability. Survival meant sleeping in tight circles, bodies pressed firmly together, sharing heat, while keeping one ear perpetually pivoted toward the shifting shadows of the forest. The wild required an organism to maintain a perpetual state of scanning and guard duty. That ancient survival circuitry has not vanished, but rather it lives on, fully intact, in the dog currently snoring softly against your leg. Science has finally revealed something deeply astonishing about how a dog experiences rest. When a dog is separated from its chosen human, its nervous system remains suspended in a persistent state of invisible stress. They might close their eyes and lay their heavy head down on the floor, but their brain is still actively scanning the perimeter, never truly letting go of their environment. To fully transition into deep, healing sleep, a dog requires a safe harbor, which, in the ancestral wilderness, was the physical presence of the pack. But today, in the quiet sanctuary of your bedroom, that safe harbor is you. Studies have shown that without you present in the room, their brain remains perpetually on guard, struggling to turn off their watchful state. But when they press their spine against yours, or rest their chin softly on your ankle, your physical presence acts as a massive neurological switch. Your steady breathing, your familiar scent, and the gentle pressure of your body signal to their ancient survival brain that the perimeter is secure and the watch has been officially relieved. Because of your presence, they are able to sink deeply into the critical stage of rest, where cellular healing occurs and the physical burdens of the day are completely washed away. When your dog chooses your bed, they are utilizing you as their ultimate shield against the dark, allowing their mind to completely disengage from the wild vigilance they have carried in their blood for thousands of years. The next time you feel them lean their heavy body against your legs in the middle of the night, try gently resting your hand on their back, silently confirming to their ancient instincts that you are standing guard and they are finally safe to let go. Have you ever watched the specific, deliberate way your dog circles your mattress once or twice before finally tucking themselves deeply into the crook of your knees? In the unforgiving reality of the wild, willingly closing your eyes and losing consciousness next to another living creature means risking everything you are. Therefore, when your dog quietly walks into your room and chooses that exact spot resting against your body, they are making a statement that completely transcends the need for spoken language. They are telling you, with the full weight of their being, that they trust you with their life. You did not train them through endless repetition to seek this exact form of physical closeness, yet they choose it night after night, driven by an invisible, immensely powerful tether that binds our two species together. Science tells us that when a dog feels emotionally secure and physically close to you, their brain is flooded with the exact same bonding chemistry that cements the fierce, unbreakable connection between a human mother and her newborn infant. This is not just a poetic metaphor invented by dog lovers, but a beautiful, measurable reality of love. When your dog finally melts into your chest after a long, chaotic day and lets out a long, shuddering sigh, you are witnessing a profound shift in real time. That heavy sigh is the physical manifestation of all their invisible stress and daily worry draining rapidly from their system, entirely washed away by a warm, stabilizing tide of pure affection. The next time you hear that deep exhale in the dark, try softly echoing it back to them, or gently resting your hand on their chest, letting them know that the feeling is entirely mutual. Dogs are exquisitely attuned to the microscopic shifts in our emotional landscape, reading our internal states with breathtaking accuracy. They can detect a subtle change in the cadence of your voice, a heavy exhale you did not even realize had escaped your lips, or the specific way you sit just a little heavier on the edge of the mattress when the weight of the world has simply been too much to bear. They feel your sorrow, your quiet anxiety, and your bone-deep exhaustion, and they respond not by demanding playful interaction, but simply by offering their dense body weight against your shoulder as a steadfast, grounding presence. For anyone who has ever brought a traumatized, fearful rescue dog into their home, that first night the dog willingly closes their eyes beside you is a monumental milestone that frequently brings tears to the eyes of the owner. It is the exact moment their mind and body finally accept that the war is over, that they are permanently safe, and that they have chosen you just as surely as you chose them. It is a quiet, staggering gift of trust, offered without condition and without end, representing the complete healing of a fearful heart through the consistent, predictable safety of your presence. This deep, unseen connection extends far beyond physical touch, reaching into the very air you share in the absolute silence of the bedroom, opening the door to a hidden sensory world of security that we are only just beginning to truly understand. Have you ever wondered why your dog completely ignores their expensive plush bed just to curl up tightly on the exact side of the mattress you just woke up from? Or why you so often find them happily sleeping in a pile of dirty laundry you meant to wash yesterday? To us, comfort is a physical feeling, defined by the softness of a blanket or the warmth of a room. But to your dog, true comfort is an invisible landscape of scent. Their nose is vastly more powerful than ours, but more importantly, it is directly hardwired into the deepest, most ancient emotional center of their brain. When your dog buries their wet nose into your unwashed bed sheets, they are not just smelling a familiar odor. Science has revealed that breathing in the microscopic traces of your skin and hair triggers a massive, instantaneous cascade of pure joy in their mind, lighting up the exact same regions of the brain that process intense, lasting affection. They choose your bed over any other piece of furniture because it is the most concentrated, densely saturated reservoir of your physical essence in the entire house. When they actively burrow their face into your pillows, they are engaging in a deeply instinctual behavior that perfectly echoes the profound security of a mother's den. In the wild, a maternal den is a dark, highly enclosed space heavily saturated with the mother's scent, providing an overwhelming, all-encompassing blanket of absolute safety for her vulnerable pups. For your adult dog, your bed serves as that exact same sacred space. The natural oils from your skin and the very chemistry of your daily life surround them in an invisible but impenetrable protective cocoon. This invisible blanket actively slows their resting heartbeat, deepens their breathing, and signals to their nervous system that they are entirely enveloped by the protection of their pack. They are not drawn to your laundry just because it is soft, but rather they are actively trying to absorb you into their system, allowing your lingering scent to stand guard over them so they can finally sleep with both eyes fully closed. The next time you catch them sleeping on your favorite old sweater or stealing a worn pair of socks, try not to scold them, but instead recognize it as the ultimate declaration of love. You might even purposefully leave an unwashed t-shirt in their favorite resting spot when you have to leave the house, giving them a piece of your comforting presence to hold on to while you are gone. And when they sleep next to you in that bed night after night, year after year, an even more beautiful biological phenomenon gradually occurs as your individual scents begin to heavily intertwine, weaving you together into one unified, inseparable family in the silent, healing hours of the night. Have you ever noticed how your dog will always seek out the warmest possible spot in any given room, like a fleeting sliver of afternoon sunlight on the rug, yet in the middle of the night, they deliberately choose to press the length of their spine firmly against your leg instead? Dogs naturally run slightly warmer than human beings, yet despite generating their own comforting heat, they relentlessly seek out our warmth in the dark. They do this because in the ancient, unspoken language of their body, shared warmth is the ultimate physical proof of absolute safety. But what husband curl tightly into the hollow of your chest goes infinitely deeper than just sharing body heat. Science has uncovered that when a dog and their human lie completely still against one another, their bodies engage in a silent, continuous, and miraculous dialogue of healing. Researchers studying this deep bond have revealed an astonishing truth, showing that when your dog lies heavily against you, their heartbeat actually begins to be and synchronize with your own. Their breathing naturally slows down to rhythmically match the gentle rise and fall of your chest, creating a shared biological tempo of peace. This spectacular physical mirroring actively turns off the invisible alarm bells in their mind, calming the primal fears that keep them on edge, while simultaneously triggering the part of their brain that governs deep, restorative rest. For a dog carrying the heavy, invisible scars of past trauma, or an anxious rescue who spent their first weeks flinching at every passing shadow, this shared rhythm is profoundly therapeutic. When they finally creep to the edge of the bed and rest a single, tentative paw against your ankle, they are initiating a beautiful process of mutual, unspoken healing. The next time you feel them lean into you in the quiet of the night, try taking a few very slow, deliberate, and deep breaths. Because they are actively tracking your rhythm, your steady breathing will biologically dismantle their hidden stress, melting their worries away. And the true miracle of this connection is that the healing energy flows seamlessly in both directions simultaneously. As your dog's muscles release their long-held tension, your own system responds by releasing a massive surge of comforting bonding hormones alongside a dramatic drop in your own stress levels. Their quiet, steadfast presence physically lowers your blood pressure, eases the tight grip of your human anxieties, and deeply grounds your wandering mind. You are literally healing each other in the dark, breath by breath, heartbeat by heartbeat, in a flawless symphony of trust and mutual preservation. You may have gone to great lengths to purchase the most luxurious dog bed on the market, complete with advanced memory foam and soft, pristine covers. Yet every single night, almost like clockwork, they walk right past that expensive bed, ignore it completely, and jump enthusiastically onto your mattress. They happily bypass their own perfect comfort just to squeeze into the cramped space right beside your hip or the small indentation at the top of your pillow. They do this because your bed is infinitely more than just a comfortable sleeping surface. To your dog, your bed represents the absolute emotional epicenter of their universe, for the simple reason that it is exactly where you are. Dogs are inherently territorial creatures, but not in the aggressive, possessive way we so often fear and misunderstand. They are emotionally territorial. In the wild, a canine carefully selects a sleeping spot that offers close physical proximity to the core members of their family. When your dog jumps up and joins you, they are not just borrowing a small corner of your blanket, nor are they trying to assert dominance over you, as outdated training myths might suggest. They are claiming their rightful, earned place within the family, reinforcing their core identity, and actively participating in an ancient ritual of true belonging. We often worry that sleeping with our dogs will ruin our rest, but researchers at a leading medical center discovered a beautiful truth about our shared nights. They found that despite the occasional physical disruption of a twitching paw dreaming of a chase, or a sudden deep sigh in the dark, human beings actually experience a much deeper, more profound sense of psychological peace when their dog is sleeping intimately close to them. We sleep better with them beside us because, on a deep, primal level, we subconsciously know that our pack is whole. We know that our loyal guardian is actively at their post and that we are deeply, unconditionally loved. When we finally strip away all the complex layers of scientific data, the intricate pathways of brain chemistry, and the matching heartbeats, what we are ultimately left with is a story of unparalleled emotional connection. It is the magnificent culmination of ancient instincts and pure, unadulterated devotion, beautifully transformed through thousands of years of evolution into the gentle, reassuring weight of a soft chin resting quietly across your ankle. Think of the immense, astonishing journey your dog has taken, crossing thousands of years of history just to reach that specific, highly coveted spot on your mattress. They have crossed the vast expanse of time to find their permanent safe harbor in you. As humans, our world is vast and infinitely complex, filled with demanding careers, lifelong friends, and sprawling futures. But to your dog, their entire universe begins and ends with you. You are not just a provider of food and shelter, you are the safe haven against all the storms of life. You are their entire pack, their home, and their absolute everything. The next time you feel frustrated because they took up too much space on the bed, or they tracked a little bit of dirt onto the sheets, look down at their resting face and remember how fiercely short their beautiful, bright lives truly are. Gently stroke their head and forgive their small mistakes, knowing that they do not possess the capacity to fake their affection or love you with hidden agendas. When they choose you in the dark, it is the purest, most honest expression of reality they can possibly offer to the world. What is the one strange or funny thing your dog does when they sleep next to you that you now realize is just pure love? Let us know your story in the comments below. And if you want to continue uncovering the deeply emotional, secret world of your canine best friend, subscribe and join our compassionate family of true dog lovers. Because next time, we are exploring the invisible, heartbreaking reasons why your dog constantly watches you when you leave the room.